All right, we should be live. What's Dime talking about? Dime's talking about the pivot on Sol. Let's see. Oh yeah, the daily pivot pulling us back. And then Sticky said there's a 4-hour pivot. Yeah, 4-hour pivot right here. Nice. Not too bad. One sec, guys. I forgot to turn the chat on. Give me a sec. All right, there we go. Looks like SPY's coming back down to retest that monthly VWAP. Or, yeah, monthly VWAP, exactly. It is the August VWAP. Oh, one sec. My dog's waking up. She's been sleeping all day. Second I start stream, she wakes up. What's going on, John? He said, I've been watching your volume profile trading series. How did you get your fixed range volume profile tool to automatically update with each new candle? I have to keep moving the range. So the fixed range will not update. The one that I use on those videos is mainly the session volume. I'm using session volume for like this profile. So like when you see the profile, actually don't have it turned on right now. When you see the profile on the side, that's the session volume. The only time I'm using the fixed range is when I'm trying to like highlight something, like I'm telling you guys specifically to look at that area. Everything else I use the session volume. Hey FX, what's going on, man? Spy's got a small little bull div here on the 5-minute, trying to bounce a little bit. Nice volume coming in, honestly, on the ETF as well on Spy. Very nice volume. Yeah, Solana, let's take a look. I was just showing Solana actually right at the start of the stream. Sticky and Dime and Discord were talking about Solana here. They were mentioning the daily pivot. So there's a daily pivot on Solana up here that pretty much called the top, the high there. And then we also had a 4-hour pivot coming in. This is the first 4-hour pivot we've put in since way down here at the bottom. So this 4-hour blue pivot that we have way back at 2290, that's the last blue pivot that we had until right here. So what we're kind of seeing with that is there's a buyer inefficiency coming. So the sellers tried to push you down, but then the buyers quickly pivoted that price action and pushed it back up. So looks really good there. Let's actually, let me get rid of this trend line here. We don't need that. And then let's get rid of this. we can actually take this impulse now that we've created a new top. So we can look at something like this. So we have support around 159, support around 140, and then 120. And then we have that 4-hour pivot as well, right there around 150. So those are your major supports moving forward. The little downtrend that we're putting in right now is a little worrying. So you can take this little trend right here. Once we break that, get back above the 50, little bit of resistance around 187 on that pivot. Break that pivot, then we're talking about going back an all-time high. And then Elrond, what is Elrond? Let's see. Looks like we had an all-time high push recently. We do have a little tweezer top coming in, so a little bit of resistance up top here. 4-hour putting in a lower high. 1 hour pulling back to the 50. It has not lost the 50 on the 1 hour since reclaiming it way back in the beginning of September. So I'd keep an eye on that. If it does fail the 50, probably going to come back down to this little support flip right here. We had a little flip right there around, what is that, 245. Break that, could go down to the 200 EMA around 218. But for now, it doesn't look too bad. I wouldn't front run the 50 just yet. But if it pops above the trail, above like 273, looks pretty good. Getting a little toppy definitely on the daily. Vishal, you said, what do you think about Bitcoin in the medium term, like the next 6 months? I am personally not touching Bitcoin until we get out of this range. This range is very nasty. We are seeing just ridiculous price action the past few days. Like, look at this price action. It's just chopping the hell out of people. So I'm staying away from it for the time being. I will be a buyer down around 39 if we do come back down and fail the 200 EMA. I would be a buyer somewhere around 40 to 38. Anywhere in that area, I think, is a decent place to buy if you want to hold long term. But buying right here, you could buy here if you're willing to accept a drawdown if we do pull back a little bit. But it is a little scary buying here. No problem, FX. Yeah, right now I own no Bitcoin. I'm all cash. If it pulls back to like 39, I'll start buying some. Nice little bounce here on SPY and Qs. Bouncing right off the monthly VWAP. I was looking at selling premium on SPY down here, but I didn't really decide what I wanted to do. There's not a really good trade, honestly, right here on SPY. Could probably do what I did on Qs and take a debit spread. Let me see. Yeah, it's not the greatest. You'd have to pull it out to, yeah, even if you buy the 442s, sell the 447s for October 15th, so about 30 days out. you're risking $300 to make about 180, which is not the greatest risk to reward there. That would be per spread, obviously. We could pull it out to like 450. Let's see. So this is not too bad. You could buy the 445 call, sell the 450 call. So you'd have to be above 450 by October 15th, which is about 30 days out. For about a, what's that risk to reward? Let's see. I think it's like 0.75. Yeah, 0.74. So for how much you're risking, your profit would be about 74% of that risk, which for a debit spread is not too bad. But it's not the greatest trade. Your POP is only 44%. You want to be going for at least a like 50 to 55%. Let's see if we pull it back to 440. Yeah, it's not very good. 51% POP if you buy the 440 call, sell the 445. Your max profit is $160 per contract, max loss 340. So it'd only be about a 50% profit, which is not very good. So there's not a very good setup here on SPY unless you want to risk a lot of theta burn. You could buy some naked calls. If I bought naked calls here, I'd probably be buying somewhere around the 448 to 450 area, which would give you a theta of about $10 per contract per day, which is not very good. Theta being close to 10, delta being close to 40. So you have about a 25% theta burn. Sorry, I know you guys can't see my options chain, but I'm just kind of talking out loud so you guys can understand my thought process when I look for premium trades like this. Vishali said, do you think it could trigger a bear market if Bitcoin and SPY start falling? And sorry, if Bitcoin trigger bear market in Bitcoin if SPY starts falling in relation to SPY? I don't think you're going to see a massive bear market on Bitcoin. I think you could see a local one. So if we go to our bot here, the bot has actually shifted into a sell way back here on September 8th. And I was telling people on stream and in Discord that it was hard to tell if this sell was going to be one of those sells where you just close your long and then you wait for the next buy signal, then you re-long it. Or it was going to be a sell where you see like a local bear market and you start to see a massive sell-off. Now, typically, it's easy to figure out which kind of sell signal it is based on the trend. So, like if we've broken the uptrend, if we're trading below the local moving averages, etc. Right? The reason this one was so hard is it was trading right on those moving averages. So, like this ribbon right here. This is anywhere from 24 to 50, so about the midterm moving averages. So it was selling basically right on the 50. So it was really hard to tell if this was going to be a local bear market or it was just the longs being closed. Now, with the current price action that we're seeing right now, the follow-up on the sell signal makes it look like this is going into a local bear market. Obviously, with the short-term momentum being heavily to the downside as well. So I would definitely say that we are shifting more into a local bear market. But until like the higher time frames, like the 3-day, the weekly, until these, I can't type today. There we go. Until these start to sell, we're not entering a very big bear market, right? It's just a short one. So the only sell signal that we've gotten on the high time frames on the bot is on the daily. And then if we go to the OTS has shifted red on the daily, meaning the sell pressure is getting pretty strong. But we have not shifted red on the weekly and we have not shifted red on the 3 days. So the sell pressure is not entering those higher time frames just yet. Hey, Sarish, what's going on? John said, I'm looking at the settings for session volume. If you don't mind sharing what you use, yeah. Let me pull mine up real quick. So I use row size 100. I use number of rows, total volume, and then 70 for my value area. And then my style is just, it's all preference. It's all just colors, right? Whatever looks good on your chart. But this is what I use: black, black, pink, pink. And then I only show the POC. Do I have a mentorship course? So the way that we run the Discord is basically our mentorship program. So if you're in the higher tiers, the 199 or the 499 quarterly, those are our mentorship tiers. It comes with free tutoring one-on-one. It comes with our live trading chat room where we talk all day. So if you're looking for more of a like a one-on-one or like a group mentorship, I would recommend looking at that. If you're looking at more of like an analysis type thing, like you just want to see trade ideas and stuff like that, we also have the lower tier of Discord, which is only $30 a month. As far as courses go, like an actual course, if you sign up for the Discord, you get a course that I made back in 2018. It's about 200 slides. It's a very beginner course, so it's not like advanced stuff. It's like introducing you to trading. So that is free 100% with any sign up. Yeah, Vishal, the bot is coming publicly very soon. We're getting up. We're doing some final testing. I was actually talking about doing a competition on Twitter to do our last final test for the bot. It's going to be like the last beta test, and I announced that it was supposed to start today, but then I didn't realize that that FTX US doesn't let you use any leverage whatsoever. So I'm going to have to postpone that competition. I'm probably going to move it to something like Delta or another crypto exchange. We might even just do regular FTX again. But I want to have like one more beta test for you guys to test the bot out and get any bugs fixed. I don't think there's any bugs right now. But if you guys find any in the last beta test, we'll clean them up, and then it's going to be released shortly after that. So it shouldn't be too long, probably less than a month at this point. It was supposed to be released a while ago, but then I bought a new house, had to move, etc., etc. I was very busy. So it should be coming out pretty soon. Appreciate that, Alan. Surprised you remember my settings. Hey, ZL, you said, I think SOX is showing nice relative strength versus Qs and SPY. Wouldn't it be a better long than SPY? SOX. What is this? Is this a semiconductor ETF? I'm not familiar with this. Yeah, semiconductor index. Okay. So I actually use SMH as my ETF. I like the VanEck one. They're pretty much the same exact chart. But I like SMH more than SOX. Yeah, if you're looking at more of a this would be picking a certain sector instead of picking the broad market, right? SPY would be trading the broad market. If you're trading like SOX or SMH, you're trading a specific sector. Okay. So it's a different style of a trade. Binance is a good exchange for crypto. Binance is heavily KYC'd is the problem. To do our next trading competition, I would want to use an exchange that is not heavily KYC'd so that anybody can sign up and it won't be a hassle. FX, you said you want to learn my strategy. Yeah, so I have a lot of videos on my YouTube that go over all my different techniques. The thing with my trading, as you guys probably know if you've seen my stream for a while or you've been in the Discord, I'm not one of those traders that has like one setup that I do every single day. I have a bunch of different techniques that I use on a day-to-day basis, and I kind of put them all together and I Frankenstein them into like one strategy. Um, if I had to like put what I do in one sentence, it's trading the shifts of momentum, right? I like trading reversals. I like trading when things are like pulling back to trend and then shifting back into an uptrend off of that trend, etc. Right? So pretty much all of my techniques revolve around that point. I try to trade when momentum is shifting, and that's why I've created the indicators that I have. They like the Momo, the OTS. They find when that momentum is shifting. So if you understand that that is my like cornerstone of my technique or my strategy, then everything else that I teach you guys, you'll understand how they fall into that system. But if you're just looking for like basic information, like what I do, you can do all that for free, man. You can look at my YouTube. There's a big how to trade playlist, about 20, 25 videos on there that go over my different trading methods. I don't go over like too deep stuff. If you join the Discord, obviously I have my mentorship section where I go more over my options, trading strategies, and whatnot. And then obviously, if you guys have signed up for the tutoring, I go more in depth in my tutoring as well. But if you're looking for just basic stuff, you can look at my how to trade playlist for sure. Chris, I'm not sure what you're asking, man. For the bullish setup comment, you could rephrase that a little bit. I could probably answer it for you. KuCoin, yeah, I could think about KuCoin, honestly. KuCoin's a pain in the ass, man. I used to trade on KuCoin back in the day, and their platform was just clunky as hell. Their authentication and stuff was really irritating. By the way, guys, I have a newsletter. So this is our third attempt at a newsletter. If you guys remember, I started a newsletter way back when we got banned because of our crypto content, I guess. You're not allowed to have crypto content in your email newsletters. So we got banned. I restarted a second newsletter. They said I was okay, and then a couple days later they banned me again. So we got banned twice. Now I'm starting a third newsletter, and I've read their terms of service, and there's not a single mention of cryptocurrency or spam emails or trading content whatsoever. So they should allow me to do my newsletter. If they don't, I'm going to be pretty pissed off because it doesn't say anywhere in their terms of service that I can't do trading stuff. But I'm starting a new one. I wrote my first newsletter yesterday. It was going to go live yesterday, but they're reviewing my account. So hopefully when they review my account, they say we're good to go. And then from there on out, we're going to be doing a newsletter every single week. I'm going to try to release it around the same time that I release the weekly watch list. So if you guys didn't already, go back and watch the weekly watch list that I released yesterday. If you guys are watching live, go back and watch it after this video. But yeah, I release a summary of markets watch list every single Sunday. So if you guys are new to my content, be sure to check that out every Sunday. It comes out around 4 p.m. Eastern typically, but I'm trying to release them a little earlier. Like this one I released around 2 p.m. So we're gonna aim for like 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. And then I'm gonna aim for the newsletter to come out somewhere around 4 to 6 p.m. So the newsletter is gonna be later in the day, and then the watch list is gonna come out sometime around lunchtime. So hopefully I can give you guys actually a little preview since it's being reviewed right now. Let's see, where is it? But here is the sign up. If you guys want to sign up for the newsletter, it's completely free, 100% free. I'm never going to charge you guys for the newsletter. There is the link. Let me pull up the actual newsletter. How do I get to that? Here we go. So here is an example of kind of how we're going to do it. It's just going to be like short little articles going over kind of what my thoughts are on certain sectors or something important that's happening in the market. Like back when I was talking to you guys on stream about the shipping companies, that's like something that I would have put in a newsletter. I would have told you guys, hey, keep an eye on the shipping sector. They're doing this, and this, you know what I mean? XYZ. And I'll give you guys some like articles to read that will kind of catch you up to speed with why I think that sector is improving, etc. Right? So that's what the newsletter is going to be. It's not going to be like exactly the same as the summary of markets where I give you guys like my watch list and I give you levels and whatnot. This is going to be more about research and data. It's going to be more data driven. Okay. So like this issue, this is going to be our first issue. It is talking about a look into commodity flow and supply crunches. So I'm going over different sectors that are seeing supply crunches kind of across the board. We talked about uranium, we talked about oil, and we talked about shipping. Okay, so this should come out today if they finish reviewing my account. If not, hopefully I'll have it out as soon as possible. But as you can see, they're not very long. It's a quick little read. Probably take you guys less than 5 to 10 minutes to read. And I'm going to try to have these coming out every single week. Like I said, 100% free. I'm not going to charge you guys for the newsletter. Why are they censoring you? It's because of crypto content. So there are specific regulations based on email marketing. So most newsletters are driven through email marketing, right? So people put in their email and then you send them whatever you're sending them, a newsletter, right? Some information. Well, there are regulations where if your content is based on cryptocurrencies, they think that you're shilling them like crypto, right? They think you're shilling like ICOs or you're trying to get them to buy into these like bullshit currencies that are just going to go to zero. So they think it's spam. So it goes under their spam system and they block it. Okay. So pretty much almost like 99% of every single email marketing program, they will not let you do trading content because if it has anything to do with crypto, they ban you. And the sad part about my last newsletter is I never wrote about crypto whatsoever, but because I talk about crypto on my stream and in Discord, they banned me anyway. Sorry, let me catch up, guys. I went on a little rant there, so I missed a lot of messages. Let's see. Excel said, did you get wrecked by the rare 9/11 pattern on Bitcoin? I have not been trading Bitcoin recently. The last trade that I had on Bitcoin, we bought the liquidation nuke, and we made a nice little profit on that. We bought the nuke down here and sold it on the way up. That was my last trade. Yeah, that's awful, Ryan. Binance was my second ever exchange. We started on Bittrex way back in 2017. Then we moved to Binance, and then we got kicked off because of the US thing. Appreciate the sub, Alan. I think you guys will enjoy, man. I think you guys will really like the newsletter. It's going to be different from my other content. Most of my other content is very technical driven. They're driven by charts and like different patterns and whatnot. This is going to be more fundamentally and data driven. Do I play poker at all? I used to. I used to play poker. Not so much anymore. I never did it professionally or anything though. I just did it like online poker. I appreciate that, FX. Yeah, so right now, guys, I know a lot of you guys are coming in. You missed what I said earlier. But Bitcoin is kind of in a really weird spot right now. You don't really want to be trading Bitcoin too much right here. You honestly don't want to be trading altcoins too much right here because of all the choppy price action. especially on leverage. If you're using leverage, you're going to get burnt out really quickly. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for more of a big sell off to hop back in. If it comes down to like 41 to 39, somewhere around there, I'll start buying the dip. I think that's a very key area. We have a lot of resistance up here that turned into support. So we also have the 200 EMA, which is going to be most likely retested. We also have the value area high of the entire accumulation. So there's a very key area around anywhere from 37 to like 41, 40,000 would be more exact, that you could buy the dip on. It's going to be a little risky, obviously. You could blow right through you and go all the way back down to like 31. But I think that's a very good start of a dollar cost average system, or even just a little scalp, like buy the dip and buy the dip at like 39 and get back out at like 42 or something like that. So that's what we're going to be mainly playing. Yeah, Sarish, I try to help people out, man. I obviously have my paid content. My time is valuable. I put a lot of time into this stuff. I got a lot of experience that I can share with you guys. So I do charge for a lot of my content, right? I got the Discord, I got the indicators, but I try to give you guys as much free content as I can as well. We've been doing the live stream for close to 4 years now. I've had tons of free content across the board since then. I try to release as much as I can. Hundreds of hours of content on YouTube. I got all the teaching videos for free on YouTube as well. You've never traded crypto, so it depends on kind of what you're looking for. If you're looking to just like buy crypto and not really trade it, just kind of like invest in it, you're looking for like a spot broker, right? The brokers that you can buy spot meaning like you actually own the asset. You're not trading a contract. So if you're looking to invest in the actual asset of crypto, you're looking for like a spot exchange. If you're looking to trade crypto, then you're looking for a margin exchange, something like FTX or Binance or any of the other ones. There's tons of them, right? FTX is like the biggest name in the street right now. FTX, they're kind of cracking down. If you live in the US, you're not allowed to trade on FTX unless you trade on FTX US, which is a separate broker. Um, but you can use a VPN and whatnot to kind of bypass that restriction. It's technically not allowed, but that's what pretty much everybody does. So that's something to look into. Pretty much every crypto exchange that tries to block you from making an account, you can just use a VPN and get right through their system. What's up with all these coins that have been running in the recent days, Algo, XTZ? To be honest, man, I'm not very caught up with like what's going on with altcoins. I have not been trading like every single day. But I know that most of the altcoins that are seeing massive runs right now, they have something to do with NFTs or they have something to do with ecosystems that are trying to compete against Ethereum because Ethereum has very high transaction fees, right? So most of the most of those, excuse me, most of those coins that have been running, like Solana, you had Ray, stuff like that, they are NFT related, and their systems are much more efficient than Ethereum. The problem is Ethereum is um, it's the big daddy, right? Like it's even though their fees are high, that's what people like using. Yeah, exactly what Mortal said. They're trying to solve ETH's gas issue. By the way, guys, I'm seeing a lot of new faces in the stream. I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys like the content, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe on YouTube. I do stream 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. If you guys want to see my live streams moving forward, make sure to subscribe. Dom, so did you already talk about Q's bounced? I did not talk about Q's today. Let's see. So Q's is actually retesting the OTS trail. It's giving you a buy the dip signal. It has not confirmed yet. You got 20 minutes left. Probably will confirm. It would have to sell off pretty hard to turn that signal off. So looks like we're going to get a buy the dip signal. Definitely going to want to see how that reacts tomorrow morning on the open. If it starts to bounce right away, then that buy the dip signal was probably very accurate. We don't have the monthly VWAP just yet. The monthly VWAP and the 50 are way lower, around 369. So it's kind of bouncing off the first real support. We have the previous high right here around August 25th. And then we have the OTS trail, which I'm guessing is somewhere around the 20 EMA, 21 EMA. So the short-term moving averages are giving you a little bit of support, but we're not testing like a major level just yet. Like SPY, we tested the monthly VWAP today, so we already got that major support. So if you're buying something more aggressively, I would probably be buying SPY here and not Q's. Typically, they're going to run together, but SPY is more so in that very strong support area. But yeah, Q's, I think we're retesting, where's NASDAQ here? So we're retesting this kind of volume profile right here on August 27th that has not been tested yet. So to fulfill the 80% rule, it would have to go down to 15,340. So we still have a little bit of a ways to fall if it wanted to go lower, which kind of goes back to what I was saying. Q's is not on a major support just yet. It's pretty close, but it's not there just yet. So you still have a little bit of room you could fall to fulfill that trade. If you get back above the POC, back above like 15,450, then it's looking a lot better, which would be, if you want to tie it into Qs, it's easier to use percentage. It'd be about 0.3% away to the upside or about 0.4% away to the downside. Gonna take a look at Tesla. Let's take a look. Looks pretty good here, honestly. Bounced right off that 7-11 level. So if you guys have been following the stream or following the Discord, that is one of our key levels that we've been watching. Pulled back to retest it, pretty much bounced almost to the dollar off that level. And now we're back above the 737 level. So looks pretty strong. If you can close up here. Yeah, look at that close. Let me hide this. That is a disgustingly bullish close. Look at that candle. Massive dragonfly on Tesla here. Closes like this, you should be seeing a nice little gain tomorrow. Keyword is should. It doesn't have to, but probability-wise, that's a very bullish close. Hold above 738, very easily should get 750, and then 770 would be the overall target. Yeah, I don't know much about like Solana and Ray and all the ecosystems and whatnot. I don't do any research like that. Sticky's more of the guy in Discord that talks about all that stuff. He's pretty familiar with like what goes on behind the scenes with these coins. I just look at rectangles all day. I trade the chart. I don't do too much research with the altcoins, to be honest.
um, Zoom and Facebook coming out with a collaboration for the Facebook VR thing.
Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool. Live translation services. Gonna be like Star Wars. The 7-Eleven level kept me long. Stop was just under there. Nice. Yeah, Sean, if you held on to Tesla there, you got a really nice bounce. I haven't received any. I have not received an email yet about my newsletter, so um, I'm hoping to get one by the end of the day. And then if I do, I'll release that first issue to you guys. If not, I'll let you guys know on Twitter what's going on. I'm hoping they let me go. How do I feel about Michael Burry's assessment of the markets? The thing with Michael Burry is I like the guy. He obviously is a genius, right? He was spot on about the '08 crisis and whatnot. The problem I have with Burry is he's a perma bull or a perma bear. Like he is very driven in one direction. So when he sets his eyes on like one thing, he that's all he talks about, right? Like that is his mindset. And I try to stay away from traders that are perma in either direction, and I try not to let them influence me. I think Burry the guy that was, or no, that was Kathy Wood, but I think Burry was also saying it. Um, they were saying that we're not entering um, a we're not entering massive inflation. We are actually going into deflation, and um, it's starting with kind of like an inflation fake out, which was very interesting, which I don't agree with, but Kathy Wood, I believe Burry, I could be wrong, but I know Kathy Wood for sure. She believes that we are not entering massive inflation. We are actually going into deflation, which would be very bad for me because I just bought a house, right? Deflation is like one of the worst things that can happen to you in the housing market. But I just don't see that. I don't see how that mindset is going to work out because look at what we're seeing across the board. Like nearly every single asset class is seeing inflation. And we're seeing signs of inflation on every single economic report that is being published by the government. I just don't see how anyone at this point could say we're not entering a stage of massive inflation. Yeah, we printed 30% of all of our money supply in 2 years, exactly. And we're about to print more. We're about to print another 3.5 trillion on another bill, and then we have the infrastructure bill to do. The 3.5 trillion is not even the infrastructure bill. There are consequences to what we are doing. You can't just print, 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 and not have prices rise. The only reason that it's taking so much longer for inflation to hit us is because the other world economies are also doing very poorly. So our dollar is remaining very strong comparative to those other world currencies. If the other world currencies were doing much better, then we would be hitting inflation much quicker. Mauricio, I agree. As long as the interest rates stay the way they are, the housing market will continue to rise. Yeah, Rusty, that kind of makes sense. Like they're talking about it more of like an innovative way, which that's what Kathy talks about in every single thing that she mentions. She tries to spin it into an innovation um, talk, right? Because that's her whole thesis on the market is investing in innovation. All I know is the market is in a micro bubble. It's going to keep going up as long as we don't taper and pull back the Fed buying, right? As soon as we start tapering, the dollar is going to weaken and we are going to see a pullback on the market. Or sorry, the dollar is going to strengthen and we're going to see a pullback on the market. The only data that I have seen that suggests deflation over inflation is like the supply chain problems that we're having, the logistic issues around the world. Those could lean more into deflation than inflation. But from as far as like economic reports go, they all seem like inflation to me. Nice little pump here on SPY into the close. What do we have? 10 minutes left? Not a bad close. Can I show some examples of how I would scalp Bitcoin? You're better off, honestly, watching my technique videos on my How to Trade playlist because pretty much every single one of those techniques can be used for scalping Bitcoin. If you go to my playlist section on YouTube, you'll see it. Like I said, almost every technique in that playlist can be used on scalping. Yeah, a lot of people ask me like, why don't I live trade on stream and yada yada, right? You guys have seen me take trades on stream. There's one thing that I don't do is I don't force trades just to trade on stream. I stream for 1 hour a day, right? I stream from 3 p.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. If I don't find any trades in that time frame, I'm not going to take them. That's why you guys don't see me trade on stream very often. But we've had plenty of trades where I've taken them on stream. One trade I was actually looking at today was Roku. I don't believe I'm filled on Roku though. Let me see. No, I'm not. I'm trying to trade like an iron condor down here on Roku because look at this pivot test. You came all the way down and retested this pivot. And now we have a beautiful bounce. It's going to close perfectly. You have a perfect close, little hammer off of this pivot. Look at the 4-hour pivot, even better. Literally bottomed on the 4-hour pivot almost to the exact penny. And it has a massive bull div on the daily. So this is a trade that I was thinking about taking here. I honestly might grab some shares here if it doesn't fill. What time is it? We have 5 minutes left. I might grab some shares on Roku here, not too many, because it is very volatile. Put a very tight stop on this thing below these little wicks down here. Yeah, you could put like a 5 or 6% stop on this thing and you could let this thing run. 20%, 33%, 40%. Yeah, you could get a decent return on this.
Bounce on Tesla.
Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to block my screen out. I'm going to take some Roku shares here. Let me cancel my Iron Condor. It's not going to get filled. All right, let me post this in Discord real quick. It's a very high risk trade. We are buying like kind of knife catching here. This would be the setup here that we're taking on Roku.
Nice bounce on Bitcoin.
Give me a second, guys. Let me put my desk back down. It's hard to type when I'm standing. All right, much better. All right, I posted it in Discord. That is the trade that we're looking at. Little bit of risk here because we're buying the knife without any confirmation. Typically on a trade like this, I would want to wait for at least a day or two of confirmation. Like get a little bit of a bounce off of the pivot, kind of confirm the bull div on the Momo, and then you take the shift in momentum. The problem with doing that on Roku is when Roku bounces, it bounces very quickly. And the moves are very, very volatile. So you can't really wait for too much confirmation on Roku. So we just have to trust in this pivot here, trust in the hammer, and hope that it has a nice little open tomorrow. We'll have to see what the open is tomorrow. I didn't jump in too much size right away. If it has a strong close tomorrow, nice confirmation next few days, then we could add on some size to it. Really clean chart though. I like that close on Roku. Yeah, Sonny, let me take a look. FAMI. So I can't do much analysis on this, obviously, because it's a penny stock. They're mainly driven by news events or fundamentals, volume scans, right? Stuff like that. It's not really driven too much by the daily long-term analysis. But looks like they had some kind of announcement today, which obviously led them to gap down pretty heavily. You have a very clear level being lost. This like low right here. Retested it on the pump today, and then we failed. So if it can't get back above that level, it's just going to bleed out basically to zero. That's a very key support that it needs to reclaim. If it reclaims that level, then you can start talking about going for somewhat of a gap fill, but not much I can say about that stock there. Hey, Doodle, you said, yeah, September is a risk off month for sure. And I was tweeting about that. So this week is typically a little bullish. The week going into like the middle of the month. But the last 2 weeks of September are historically one of the worst 2 weeks of the year. It's one of the worst 2 week stretches that you have all year. So definitely not a time you want to be putting a lot of size into the market. The last 2 weeks, September 15th to September 30th is typically one of the worst 2 weeks of the year. And then October is kind of choppy. October is kind of like hit or miss. The start of October is usually pretty bullish. The end of October is, or the middle to the end of October. So like from the like 15th to the what is it, like the 25th is pretty bad. But then the last week of October going into November is very bullish. And then November is the best month of the year. So the last week of October going into November is the best trading of the year, historically. But that last little week, like heading into the second to last week of October, is what I should say, is bearish. So it's 2 weeks of chop, 1 to 2 weeks of decent price action in October, and then chop, and then it goes back to being bullish. Yeah, Rusty, the Anchor VWAP on Bitcoin was disgustingly clean. We talked about that in the summary of markets and in Discord. The Anchor VWAP from down here, and then the one from the high kind of line up for this nice little support right here. It retested this bottom one literally. I think it was this one here. Yeah, the one from the all-time high. We retested that almost to the dollar on today's low. But all right, guys, I got to call it. I'm going to do some analysis in Discord once I end the stream. As I said, let me grab that link one more time. We are starting a new newsletter. Going to be 100% free. Here is the link. I already finished the first issue, but they have not finished reviewing my account, so I can't release it just yet. But as soon as they review my account, I'm going to release the first issue. It's mainly on supply crunches that we're seeing in different industries. So every week I'm going to release a newsletter that's talking about kind of some fundamental things that are happening around the markets. It's not going to be too heavily technically driven. It's going to be more data driven and fundamentally driven, kind of like news events and whatnot. So that's going to start coming out hopefully every Sunday if they don't ban my account. Obviously, it's going to come out right around the summary markets, probably after the summary markets. Okay, so if you guys want to sign up to that, I did post the link. Like I said, 100% free. I'm not going to charge you guys for it. Just going to be something to kind of give you guys some more information. But all right, that's all I got for you guys. Let me take a look at the last little messages here. Inverse head and shoulders on SPY. What time frame? I don't really see one. Looks kind of like a bulldog. I don't really see an inverse. I see a nice little downtrend break, though. You are kind of breaking out of this little downtrend that we've been in, depending on where you draw it from. But clearly, a very nice bounce. We have to see a higher low, though. We're struggling to put in higher lows. We're seeing nice bounces, but then it just can't put in a higher low, and then it nukes. So we need to get back above the 200 EMA as soon as possible, and that will definitely help us out. But all right, guys. You guys have a good one. I'll be back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. If you guys are in the Discord, keep an eye on the analysis channel. I'm going to be posting analysis as soon as I end the stream. Peace out, guys.